All right, guys, want to give you a little update on where I have been mentally since March of 2019. Been on somewhat of a journey getting off my medication. Thought it was the right thing to do, and we'll let you know how I feel about that over time. But first, want to start by saying I was shocked as to how easy it was initially. So shocked to the point where I have a pharmaceutical friend that I called and I wanted to double check. Man, the medicine's out of my system, right? Like, how can it be so easy? And sure enough, I'd been off of them long enough to where they were indeed out of my system, and I just felt like, wow, this is crazy. This is awesome. The reason why I was so surprised is the last time that I had been off my medicine, it was extremely difficult. I realized early on, my gosh, I've got to have medicine. Here I am checking something on my phone, a dozen times to make sure that I'm seeing something correctly, to constantly things in my head swirling around, just wouldn't stop, never ending to-do list, that sort of thing. But this time was a little bit different, and my thought process was, well, I've been really working hard the last couple of years, learning myself, identifying negative and harmful thoughts I've been carrying, doing the hard work of not letting it take its toll. So, I was a little more prepared, kind of geared up, you know what I'm saying? So it just seemed so easy. And I thought, I started to think, man, there's not going to be a big fight here. Like, there's not a battle. This is unbelievable. And I was wrong. It started happening at night. I started to recognize, my gosh, it's a little too crazy. Things are going a little nuts in my head. Can't stop the thought process. I learn basically through regular talks with my therapist that I think what I'm dealing with is like generalized anxiety disorder. And, I was just overly motivated and I couldn't shut it off. My wife was even thrown off by the weird energy that I was putting out. And honestly, she thought early on, is this sustainable? I mean, she saw all the hard work that I was putting into, getting up in the morning and meditating and talking to God. And I'm going through this workbook that helps me not to think from my thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mind is a mess. Why would I want to depend on my brain and my information? And so basically this book walks you through identifying how you got to kind of recognize you've been lied to. You've been accepting things that just shouldn't be there in your brain, and kind of question, why would I listen to Joey Svendsen and his thoughts? It's almost like figuring out how to access the real Joey Svendsen that's not a prisoner of those thoughts, those negative thoughts, kind of like learning how to think about my thoughts instead of always learning to filter life through the thoughts, and being okay with saying, you know what, it's not cool to think like Joey Svendsen. So just didn't want to be controlled by my brain, and was doing waking up in the morning, it became like a huge ordeal. Like I've got to start off fresh. I've got to, do things the right way. And from CBD oil to a supplement that my brother suggested to, taking magnesium supplements at night and fish oil and, all of this stuff, forming new ways of doing my job, like seriously limiting my time on email and texting, having more regular sleep patterns. But the email and texting, I'll just give you a little tell you what I used to do. I mean, I would seriously get in my inbox and just try to, answer everybody. And then when they respond back to them. And when they respond, and it's just like a constant thing where now I limit myself to 1 hour, get everything I can done in 1 hour, and possibly go back for another hour later on in the day. But at the most 2 hours corresponding with people on text, email, and all of that, because I can say with certainty that sort of stuff definitely contributes to my anxiety. And I think stats are saying that that's kind of across the board. But I've been seeing a regular therapist as well. And I'll close this little segment by saying that for the first time, for for the first time, I think I was heading towards a panic attack. So basically, it was a Thursday afternoon, and was not doing well with my thoughts. I was exerting so much mental energy trying to think correctly, unplug negative thoughts, stay off of my email, after an hour, do the stuff that I need to do, work out and do the workbook and all of that. And then on top of that, I got a few text messages of people really needing to talk, and me being a people pleaser, it's hard to see that and recognize I don't think I can do anything about that right now. And I have heard about panic attacks from other people. I heard that it is almost like a feeling of maybe I'm dying, but definitely a panicky feeling like the whole world is closing in on you and there's nothing you can do, and scary. I guess that's why they say it's panicky. But I literally was petrified because I could feel myself kind of going in that direction, and I literally started to pace back and forth thinking something is wrong. And basically an analogy that I've picked up from this workbook or my therapist, I forgot which one, but just kind of thinking of your thoughts as like or your brain as like a big stream going through the mountains, and each thought is like a leaf falling in that stream. And instead of like running after that leaf, you just let the leaf keep going down the stream. So I literally told myself, I'm not thinking panic attack. I'm not going there. Any fearful thought of having a panic attack, I'm going to let it be that leaf and just go on. I asked God, I was like, Lord, please help me. And I literally, I'm going to say it was either luck or the providence of God. I felt like I could slow my brain down. And the reason why I think that it's either luck or God is because that was my first experience having those sorts of petrified feelings. And I think it seems like the normal thing would have been for me to have been caught off guard and then just fall right into it, sort of thing. So I was able to get off that train, and I definitely cried because it was pretty traumatic. In fact, for the rest of the day, I was thinking to myself, great, that's something else for me to be anxious and scared about, because I was pretty traumatized being on that little train, but thankful that I was able to get off that track. So I'll end right there. So, we're ending probably late May, still off medication, still practicing some healthy thought patterns and better work patterns. And we'll end there near the end of May. And next time I'll catch you up on beginning of June. Lots and lots of stuff has happened. Not all good. And I do hope that me sharing some of this is helpful for people, or at the very least, interesting or entertaining. But you guys have a good day, and we'll catch up with you next time.